Hey guys, this is Bharadwaj with Fonearena.com and this is the Micromax Canvas Turbo. So recently launched, this phone packs a lot of features that you have seen in recent mid-range phones. So it packs a MediaTek 6589T processor, 1.5 GHz quad core, and of course a 13 megapixel camera, just like the Micromax Canvas 4. The 13 megapixel camera on the Canvas Turbo is assumed to be similar to the Canvas 4's Sony unit. So this sensor is made by Sony apparently, so we expect decent results from it, just like the Canvas 4. There is also a single LED flash besides the camera and a secondary microphone, which should mean crisp audio for the video. So anyway, let's look at the camera UI first before judging the camera performance. So what Micromax calls this camera is camaraderie, like a paparazzi. This is camaraderie. That's the camera name, camera app's name, what Micromax has christened. So judging by the look of the UI, they have changed a lot. So over to the right side, you have the toggle between the stills and the video mode. There is the shutter button that will take a picture or a burst of pictures in long press. Let me just move the dolls a little bit here so that you can see how it focuses. So there you go, that's the focusing, autofocus and face detection of the UI. You have the thumbnail for the gallery access, which you can access just by moving your finger to the right. When it is in the perfect orientation, it'll be at the right anyway. So moving on to the other aspects of the camera UI, you have the settings, which we will go into later, and you have the picture modes, which is normal shot, HDR shot, panorama shot, scene detection and smile shot. So these are pretty similar to what you had seen on previous MediaTek cameras, and that hasn't changed except for the UI. Well, you have also new modes, 3 modes especially: GIF animation, which is cinematograph that Micromax proudly touts in its box. There is also the 3D panorama feature, which is exactly like Google's Photosphere. You can take a look at that right here. So this is exactly like the 360 3D panorama through Photosphere. Let's go back. And the other one is obvious, is remove object. So this is based on the widely licensed Scalado remove technology, and it will take a burst of pictures and find the moving objects and remove them from the photo. You have the flash toggles here, auto on and off, and then you have the front facing camera toggle. The front facing camera is a 5 megapixel unit and takes really decent 720p videos for the front facing camera. You can see that the camera is pretty clear and works really well in good lighting conditions. So should be ideal for video calls. So anyway, let's dive into the settings. This is for the still settings, which is shown here to you. So you have 0 shutter delay, face detection, the capture number of burst shots, and you have the picture size, which is at 13 megapixel when it's 4:3, and if you go full screen, it'll turn to 10 megapixels. So that's one thing we noted. There's also the ISO setting. So nothing else you can change here, but there are also other settings that you can view from the contextual menu. So you have exposure, color effects, scene mode, white balance, and all the image properties that you can change right from the settings. And moving to the camera settings, this is the familiar same camera UI that you see in the settings. And these are the video settings that you get when you switch to video mode. Electronic image stabilization, microphone can be turned off, and audio mode can be normal or muting according to the frequency of the mics. So there's also the time-lapse interval option, which will enable you to take time-lapse photos and then make them into a video manually though. The video quality is set to fine, which means that it is recording in 1080p. High should be lesser resolutions, and medium, and so on. So this is the video mode here, and you can notice that the settings will show the exact same settings that we just saw. You have other toggles like video toggle, the video light toggle. You can turn on the video light. You just saw it turned on or turn it off. This is just the LED flash completely on for the video and should help somewhat in low light conditions. So that's the complete UI of the Camera at Z app on the Micromax Canvas Turbo. So we will be taking an in-depth look into the other settings like GIF animation, 3D panorama and remove object in a separate video. But let's discuss about the camera performance, the general day-to-day camera performance of the Canvas Turbo. So we took several samples in a variety of conditions like daylight, macro, low light and even video samples. So you can take a look at them one by one. First, let's see some daylight samples. So you saw some of these daylight samples. One of them is here. You can notice how crisp and colorful the photos are. This is really surprising for us because the Canvas 4 didn't do as well as the Canvas Turbo, and we are really surprised to find that the photos have come out really nicely. They are really colorful. This is the normal photo and this is a HDR photo. We'll discuss about HDR soon. So anyway, this photo has nicely captured the details and the colors, and the dynamic range too seems pretty nice. But one thing we noticed is the color noise at 100% zoom. So what you're seeing is about 50 or something 60%, but at 100% zoom you can notice that there's a lot of color noise in the photos. So moving on, let's see some of the HDR samples of the normal photos that we took. As you saw from the samples, the HDR samples have come out really nicely. They are very different in terms of detail because this is the first time, or probably one of the very few times, that we have seen HDR actually work on a mid-range phone. This is very nice of whatever Micromax has done to enable this. So this is the normal photo and this is the HDR photo, and you can take a look at the difference in the detail, especially in this part. So pretty nice that HDR mode finally works on one of these phones. That's what we had expected, but we did still see some color noise at 100%, as you can notice from here, but it is much reduced and obviously better than the daylight sample. Anyway, moving on, we have taken a lot of macro shots too to see how the device performs in macro mode. So take a look at some of the samples. So as you saw from the samples there, macro photos have come out really well. So the Canvas Turbo can indeed focus in very close distances and takes the photo instantly without any struggle for keeping the focus. So that's pretty good, but we still see the same theme of color noise being present in all the photos. So as you can see, the algorithms have not done a good job in taking out the noise from these photos, even in the out of focus parts. So that's one thing of a concern here, but otherwise the photos look really nice, as you saw from the samples there. So nothing of a concern there. So moving on to low light, let's see a couple of samples here and then discuss. So a couple of things to note here. This photo was actually taken in really low light condition. So this was not as bright as you saw in the sample photos you just saw. So pretty nice that the phone can take good looking photos even in really low light conditions. This one was taken in the automatic mode, and this one was taken in the automatic scene detection mode, which turned it up to the night mode. So you see less noise in this photo and more details than the automatic mode. So we think the Canvas Turbo does really well in low light. But the flash is a thing of a concern because it completely overblows the highlights, and you can see that the details are missing in the flash enabled photo. So yeah, that's the low light performance for you. I think this is pretty good of Micromax Canvas Turbo. The details are really nice in the Canvas Turbo's camera samples that you're seeing here. So in case you're going to use this phone in low light conditions, don't be afraid. There is going to be some noise, but the detail is quite nice, so the noise can be compromised. Now moving on to video quality, let's take a look at a video sample here. So as you saw from the video sample looks really good. But again, once more we have to say that the color noise creeps in a little bit in the video. But the colors are vibrant, the metering is proper, and the details have come out really well for the 1080p 30 fps video. So no complaints there except for the noise. We think that the sensor has packed too many pixels into a tiny frame so that the color noise shows up. If Micromax had done too much of post-processing, then the details would have been lost, which we saw in some of the photo samples, some softening happening in the daylight photo samples right there. So it is happening, but it's not too aggressive. So it's good that there is a little bit amount of noise which enhances the detail and keeps the actual image pretty close to real. So that's one commendable job from Micromax. They fixed the horrible issue in the Canvas 4's autofocus, so it pretty much does autofocus better, and the camera UI too looks much better than what it is in the Canvas 4. But we'll be doing an in-depth comparison between the two cameras soon, so stay tuned for that. But that concludes our camera review. We'll be taking a look at the special features in a separate video. Stay tuned for that. We hope you enjoyed this video. Do hit the like button if you did, and do subscribe to our channel for more videos like these. Thanks for watching, and let us know what you think in the comment section below.